Today we'll be installing our SUB10 trunk sub in this G29 Z4 to really get that low end thumping. Welcome back, Dylan here. You've seen us install our Alpha 1 SUB10 trunk sub in a bunch of different vehicles before, and now we're adding one more to the list, the BMW G29 Z4. We're going to keep this video as pretty much just an installation video, so for all the specs and features of the SUB10 trunk sub, go check out our full video on that linked in the description. But for now, let's just go over a few basics of this. This easy DIY plug-and-play sub designed by our award-winning car audio competition specialist is optimized for lightning-fast and deep bass response, and DSP tuned for the Alpha 1 amplifier and the acoustics of BMWs. Proudly developed and manufactured in Poland, this sub not only sounds great, but it boasts an aesthetic industrial design crafted from premium materials. The enclosure features a 900-watt RMS single-channel Alpha 1 monoblock amplifier that powers the 300-watt RMS 10-inch driver. This trunk sub is designed for BMWs big and small, which is perfect since the G29 isn't known for its trunk space. It is important to note that currently the Alpha 1 SUB10 trunk sub is only being offered to our current and future Alpha 1 amp owners. So if you don't have an Alpha 1 amp in your BMW, head on over to our site, enter your VIN, and get the right amp for your BMW. This Z4 has had our amp for a while now, which is a great segue to remind you that if you have our amp and do plan on picking up an Alpha 1 SUB10 trunk sub, you are going to want to get that amp retuned, which of course we offer to you at no cost. This kit comes with all of the cables and hardware that you need, and if you choose to do the installation yourself, you might want to pick up our DIY Essentials Kit and Trim Tool Kit that will have all of the tools you need and more to make the installation a breeze. Of course, if you don't want to do the installation yourself, you can find one of our certified installers near you. We have them in about 30 countries around the world. And don't forget that if you're in the Orlando, Florida area, well then stop on by and we can do it for you. Again, this installation is on a BMW G29 Z4 that already has our Alpha 1 amp installed. However, the concept of the install will be the same on any BMW with any one of our Alpha 1 amps. The only difference will be what trim you take off, where you mount the sub, how you run the cables, and things like that. But with all that out of the way, let's get to the installation. Jarrett, take it away. The first thing we have to do is disconnect the battery. To avoid damaging your windows, make sure they're either down or your doors are open. Pop the trunk and remove the floor panel. With the 10mm socket, remove the negative battery terminal and set it aside. Now we have to remove some trim. To make things faster with this install, we're going to use the footage from the one we had in last week that was getting our Alpha 1 amp. Start with this rear panel by using a trim tool to pop out these 4 fasteners. Pop out the light and disconnect it. Next, lift up from the bottom and pop it free. It will make a lot of popping and snapping sounds, so that's normal. Now let's remove the side panel. Start by popping off the covers for these tie downs. You can then remove the T40 screws holding them down. Next, remove the 3 fasteners here, here, and here. The last step is to remove the cargo tray. Start by popping the netting frame off of it, and then pop free the cargo tray and pull it out. Finally, articulate the side panel out and remove it. Remove this plastic piece by lifting it out. The last thing you'll want to remove that you don't have to do for the amp is the other side panel. It removes the same way, a few fasteners and the tie downs. With everything out of the way, we can now see the Alpha 1 amp ready for the SUB10. Start by taking the provided RCA cable and plugging it into the amp. You might have to feel around for it. Next, take the REM in-out cable and plug that into the top side of the amp. Jarrett is now securing the 2 cables together with cable ties to make installation easier for him. You can see he leaves a bit of distance between the RCA and the REM cable so that they will plug in where they need to on the SUB10. I would suggest securing these together when they've already been run, but Jarrett's a pro and he's done this many times. Run the cable along this factory harness using cable ties to secure it along the way. Run it to and tuck it into this top corner and leave it here for now. At this point, you could reassemble the side panel. Just remember the plastic piece. Slide the panel in. Make sure the weather stripping is over it. Reinstall the fasteners. Reinstall the cargo tie downs. And finally, the cargo tray. This car already had the USB cable coming from the upper grommet. The last G29 did not have that, so we coiled it up under the tray. Now for the power. Like the other cables, Jarrett decided to secure these two cables together with cable ties. You don't need to do that at this stage. To actually run the power and ground, Jarrett opted to run the cables in reverse to make sure he had the right length to mount the sub in the center. Tuck it over the top like so, and use cable ties to secure it to existing harnesses. You'll want to feed it down here like so. You will want the ground cable branched off because you'll be securing that to the battery bracket bolt. Jarrett used some gaff tape to keep the cables in place, and also to provide a little protection for the ones that fed down the metal corner. Let's start connecting the power. Pop off the red terminal cover plate, and locate and remove this 13mm nut. Slide the ring terminal from the SUB10 power cable over the stud, and tighten the nut back down. You will need to cut a section of the red cover plate off to be able to allow the cables to fit, but this was done previously when the amp was installed. Once modified to fit, snap the cover back on. For the ground, remove this 10mm bolt here. Slide the ring terminal from the SUB10 over the bolt, and tighten the bolt back down. At this point, you could begin the rest of the reassembly. Start with this side panel, reinstalling it the same way you did on the other side. And the rear panel, which we're showing from the last G29. While it would be even better to leave your battery disconnected until after the SUB10 is plugged in, the size of the trunk makes that difficult. So go ahead and reconnect your battery now. Finally, with the cables out of the way, slide the floor panel back in. When it comes to placing the SUB10 in the back, while sonically it makes more sense to face the speaker into the cabin, we opted to face it out for this install.
Sorry.
When you plug in the SUB10, it's up to you and the size of your hands if you do it before or after it's in place. The Z4 is a little tight on real estate. To secure the SUB10 to the floor but also make it removable, your kit will come with some Velcro. While we would normally put it on the sub first, with the tight space it would get caught too many times on the way in. Jarrett removed the backing of the hook side of the Velcro and then placed it against the hooks to keep it from sticking to the floor. Something larger like a sheet of paper would work even better. Slide the Velcro under, and once in place, secure the sticky backing to the SUB10. Remove the barrier, and then secure the SUB10 in place. After this, make sure you have your amp tuned if you have not done so already. Close your trunk, and crank up the tunes. And that is how you install an Alpha 1 Sub-10 trunk sub in your BMW G29 Z4 with one of our Alpha 1 amplifiers. Want one of these for your BMW, Mini, Supra, or Tesla? Make sure you currently have or are planning on getting one of our Alpha 1 amplifiers. Then head on over to our website, enter your VIN, and find the compatible kit for your ride. Have any more questions about the Sub-10? Reach out to our sales team via chat on our site or by calling. Already have the Sub-10 and have any questions about the install or anything else? Reach out to our support team with your order number and they will be eager to assist. But as always, for more tips and tricks, product reviews, and so much more for BMWs, Mini, Supras, and Teslas, make sure you subscribe and don't forget to ring that bell. Want to know what's happening first? Head on over to our site and sign up for our newsletter. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok as well. Thanks for watching.